So, welcome to Monday Motivation, the power of a morning routine. So, I'm so glad you're here. Let me start with a question. How do you want to feel when your day begins? Not later in the day or not after everything settles down, but right at the start. Because the truth is, most of us don't need a more productive day. We need a steadier day, a steadier start to the day that sets us up for success. And one of the best ways I found to create steadiness in my life is through a morning routine. It's not a rigid checklist. It's not a perfect morning. It's not a routine that makes you feel guilty if you miss one thing, but it's a simple rhythm that helps you come back to yourself before the world starts pulling on you. Here's a quote that I love because it captures this thought perfectly. Each morning, I steady myself by refusing to let urgency penetrate my peace. This is a quote by Matthew Weatherly White. That is the heart of what we're talking about today. Not allowing urgency to take away your peace. Today, I'm going to share 5 daily rituals that set me up for a beautiful day. And I'll also tell you how I stay flexible because life doesn't always cooperate. Sometimes our plans get thrown away and we start from something else. So here's what I've learned though. The morning is a doorway, and how we walk through it matters. If we wake up and immediately react to texts, emails, problems, pressures, demands, we can spend the whole day feeling behind. But when we start the day with intention, we create foundation, a foundation that sets us up for a good day, a beautiful day. A morning routine helps you feel grounded instead of scattered. It helps you respond instead of react. Your own thoughts before the world gets loud. It helps you build emotional strength before stress shows up. And honestly, it helps you feel like you belong to yourself again. So if you've been feeling off lately, a bit overwhelmed or tired, or like your days are running you, this is a great place to begin. So before I share my 5 rituals, I want to say this very clearly. Your morning routine does not need to be impressive. It's not supposed to impress anyone. It's supposed to be yours. That's what it needs to be. Your morning routine. And it needs to support your real life, not an ideal version of your life, but your real life. Some mornings you'll do all 5. Some mornings you'll do 1 or 2. And some mornings you'll simply breathe and say, "Oh, God, help me today." At least that's what I've said. But that counts too. My 5 morning rituals. Let's begin. Ritual number 1 is to nourish my spiritual life. That's the first thing I do. Because if I nourish my spiritual life, then I know my day will be connected to God all day, not just part of the day. Then everything else has a better chance of falling into place. Now, I'll talk about my spiritual life. Yours may be something different, and that's great. But you still can have something some higher power that you can latch on to. But here's what I do to connect to my higher power. I do devotions. I do Bible study. I do a lot of journaling. I try to write in my journal every single day how I'm feeling, what I need to do. Meditation, I do every day as well, and prayer. Prayer happens multiple times during the day. Sometimes it's structured and quiet. Sometimes it's not. Let's just be honest. But I want to say something here. Prayer isn't always pretty. My meditations aren't always long and thoughtful. Sometimes I just say, Lord, I need you. Please be with me today. Sometimes it's gratitude. Sometimes it's surrender. Depends on the day. But this ritual reminds me of something important. I'm not alone, and I don't carry this whole day by myself. And journaling helps me take the swirl of thoughts in my head and put them somewhere safe to deal with later. If your mind is busy in the morning, journaling can be like clearing the clutter off the kitchen counter. It creates space. And meditation, just a few minutes, helps me settle my nervous system. Even 5 minutes can change the tone of your day. So this first ritual is about alignment. It's about starting from the inside out. Ritual number 2 is to move my body. My second ritual is simple. I just need movement. Not to punish, not to earn my day, not because I'm trying to be perfect, but because movement wakes me up. It wakes me up physically and emotionally. For me, that looks like yoga, lots of stretching, neck rolls. I make sure I get neck rolls in every day. So it's, looking down, going to the right, looking up at the ceiling, going to the left, and it's coming back. I like to do several of those every day. I love neck rolls because they remind me how much stress we hold right there. That stiffness in our neck and our shoulders, our jaw. So even if I only have a couple minutes, I can still do a little movement that makes me feel more open and ready for the day, physically and emotionally. When you move your body, you tell your brain, I'm safe, I'm here, I'm alive. Let's start the day. Hopefully it'll even put a smile on your face. You don't need a full workout unless you're up for that. That's your choice. But just a little motion. Something to wake your body up. The third ritual is my first sips of water and coffee. I like to go outside for them when possible. I have a dog, and so she always needs to go out first thing in the morning. So weather permitting, I'll step out myself, breathe some fresh air, get a little sunlight on my face. There's just something about stepping outside that changes everything, even if it's a little cool, even if it's just for a moment, even if I'm still in my slippers. But outside reminds you that the world is bigger than your to-do list. The sky is still there. It didn't fall last night. And the day is new and fresh and bright. And you're allowed to start slowly, slowly, unhurried. Water is a simple act of self-care. We know we need it, so taking those first few sips in the morning, right as we wake up, is a good start. And then there's my coffee. Well, coffee can feel like comfort and joy in a cup. Maybe you like tea or some other warm beverage. And when I sit outside, even briefly, I'm telling myself I don't have to rush to get my day started. I can ease into it, unhurried. That's a powerful feeling. The fourth ritual is skincare and getting dressed. Even if I'm staying home, I always take care of myself. Good skincare and getting dressed for the day, putting on a little jewelry that helps me feel better. No matter what my plans are for the day. So let's talk about this one a bit, because some people might think it's shallow or unnecessary, but it's not. It's stewardship, it's self-care, it's dignity, it's self-respect. Getting up, putting on clothes, it helps us feel better. When I take care of myself this way, I'm reminding myself that I matter and that today is important, not because anyone is watching, not because I'm leaving the house, but somewhere it's important to me. But because I'm worth showing up for, aren't you? And if you've ever had a season of grief or burnout, depression, emotional heaviness, you just don't feel well, you know exactly how easy it is to stop doing the basics. We've all been through all of those things. So getting ready isn't about vanity. It's about signaling your body and your mind that I'm here and I'm participating in my life. Even a simple outfit, nothing crazy, but clothes. A quick routine. It changes your posture, your energy, your confidence. Ritual number 5 is to consult my planner and assess my schedule. This is where I look at the day with my clear eyes when I'm awake. I ask myself, what have I already committed to? What needs my attention? What can wait till later? What's one thing I must do today? What's one thing that would make my life feel successful? And here's something important. I don't just look at my schedule. I look at my capacity. My to-do list might have 10 things on it, but what kind of energy do I feel today? Some days your win is simply doing the next right thing. And the ritual helps you create a plan, not panic. Maybe it's just one thing you want to get done. And it's okay if rest is on your list. It helps me stay intentional instead of feeling overwhelmed. Now I want to talk about flexibility, because that is the secret to making all this work. Here's where I want to be honest. It's ideal if I can do all 5 rituals, but I don't always, because life happens. People need me. People need you. Appointments. Or maybe I just didn't sleep well. You wake up late. Your body feels heavy. No energy. Or your mind feels full. So I don't treat my morning routine like a rule. I treat it like a tool. I know it's a tool that when I do it, I'm going to feel better and I'm going to have a better day. But you can also choose a minimum routine on a day that's not so good. Here's what it might look like: a 1 minute prayer instead of 10 or 15 minutes with my devotion. It might be 3 deep breaths and a few neck rolls to get my movement, to get my body to wake up. It might be a quick drink of water to quench your thirst. Maybe a glance at the planner to see what you might miss. That's enough to steady myself. And that brings us back to this quote: each morning, I steady myself by refusing to let urgency penetrate my peace. That doesn't mean we ignore responsibilities. It means we refuse to start the day in panic mode. We refuse to let urgency be the driver, because urgency will lie to you. Urgency says everything is an emergency. People are depending on me and I'm behind. I'm late. Urgency says you have to fix everything right now, when you really don't. Urgency says there's no time for breathing. There's no time for just being slow. But peace says you're unhurried. I'm taking the next best step. I'm going to be present. And I can handle this today, because being intentional and present creates peace in my day. So here's my encouragement for you. You don't need a complicated morning routine. You don't need to copy someone else's routine. But you can take a few steady rituals that help you start your day in your real life with intention. Even one ritual can shift your day. Even one choice can bring you back to center. What is one ritual you could start with this week that would help support your peace and keep you centered and grounded? You can choose one of them that I described or something else. And if you want to take it one step further, ask yourself, what would it look like to protect my mornings the way I protect everyone else? There's something to think about there. Because you're worth it. That's why. That's what it would feel like. And I also want to mention, my mornings are my own. I don't live with my kids any longer. They live out on their own. But I do recall a time when I had babies, when my mornings were hectic to get them up and ready for school and get myself to work. I do remember those mornings. But I also remember I didn't like being hurried, especially when they were babies. I liked time to spend with them in the morning, getting ready and not feeling like I was in a rush. So maybe you can find a few extra minutes in the morning so that you can start your day unhurried, especially when you have little ones. If you have to get up 15 minutes earlier, maybe you need to go to bed earlier. Something to give you time so you're unhurried. It's good for you and it's good for your family, because you're worth it. Thank you for being here with me today. If this encouraged you, I'd love for you to comment below and tell me which ritual resonated most with you. As you start this week, remember you can move with purpose and intentionality. You don't have to move with panic or uncertainty. You can be responsible without being rushed. You can begin again tomorrow when today didn't work out. And no matter how today goes, the sun will come up tomorrow. So have a beautiful week, friends. And I'll see you next time on Monday Motivation. Until then, I'm cheering you on.